A grim start to the year as Ukraine approaches the anniversary of the beginning of its grueling battle against Russia's February 2022 invasion. As the world welcomed the start of 2024, Moscow barraged the capital, Kyiv, and the northeastern city of Kharkiv. And Kyiv hit back, again striking Russia's border Belgorod region. But much of the drama behind this conflict is unfolding across the planet, in Washington, where leading Republicans hesitate to grant President Joe Biden's request for about $64 billion in military and government support for Ukraine. They cite concerns about accountability and whether the U.S. can afford to shoulder the burden. But the White House says it can't afford to wait.
For all the ballyhoo that I heard in the last few days about Mr. Putin and some press reports that he's all of a sudden willing to negotiate, he sure doesn't act like a guy who's willing to negotiate. He's doing everything he can to try to put the Ukrainians on their back feet, which is why it's so important that this supplemental funding request that the president put forward gets passed.
Military analysts say the situation on the ground looks like a stalemate, with the much smaller Ukraine showing great resolve against a much larger enemy.
Without U.S. aid, the Ukrainian military capability will decline, and eventually they will be unable to resist Russian attacks. Even now, they probably don't have enough munitions and supplies to launch a counteroffensive in a couple of months. They'll have a hard time even doing local counterattacks. I think that by late spring, they will be hard-pressed to hold the Russians back. So the battle about military aid is crucial to the future of the conflict.
Russian President Vladimir Putin recently vowed to continue the fight.
We will keep doing it. You probably noticed that the next day such strikes were made, and we are making them today, and we will do it tomorrow.
This conflict has captured global attention, with the leader of the Catholic faith using his platform to draw attention to the suffering.
And let's not forget those populations in war. War is folly. War is always a defeat. Always a defeat. Let's pray.
But prayers will only go so far here. What Ukraine says it needs, now, is weapons. Anita Powell, VOANews, the White House.